Hello, everyone. Welcome to Backyard Musings, broadcasting live from Apple Valley after the totality. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Did you guys get to watch the totality of the solar eclipse?
No, but I did see some of our neighbors out there messing with some kind of weird devices this morning. So
Yeah.
I was indoors, I think.
Hopefully you were safe when you watched it.
Yeah.
Did you think we used hyperbole when we told you about Blinken's rhetoric that Ukraine will join NATO, could lead to World War III? There may be another threat that could start World War III. It could start with a dispute over the Philippines in the South China Sea. There's a lot going on in the South China Sea with different nations. China's been harassing the Philippines over disputed fishing shoals and territory in the South China Sea. So, just to give you a little background, the South China Sea conflict is a dispute over territory and sovereignty among several countries in the region. China claims most of the sea, the South China Sea, right? And its islands, but its neighbors, Vietnam, the Philippines, Taiwan, Malaysia, and Brunei, also have overlapping claims. The conflict has increased in recent years, especially after the U.S. announced its strategic shift in the region. So they pivoted on a shift for the region. Meanwhile, there's a warm dispute between China and India regarding a state in northeastern India, Aruchanal Pradesh. That's what the Indians call it, which China recently renamed Zangnam.
Nice.
Whoop'em Zangnam style.
They just decided to do that, huh?
Yeah.
Just renamed it.
And they also call it South Tibet, too. China cites ancient historical rights. China's been around for a long time, long time.
So is India, though.
So is India. Yeah. Oh, yeah, India. The United States backs India's claims, and India backs the Philippines in their dispute over the South China Sea. Of course, because it's against China, so they're going to back someone against China. The conflict with India over this state has lasted since 1960 and has been bloody ever since. Several different, time periods of having conflicts and blood.
That's funny. How often do you hear about that? You don't, right?
No, you don't.
Hears about it.
We're bringing it to you live today. So thank you. You're welcome. So Chinese Coast Guard fired water cannons at a Filipino supply ship on March 23rd. Dude, the ships were right up next to each other and firing water at them. Part of the sea in dispute is a crucial maritime trade route. Okay, you gotta have trade routes. Now this is where it goes weird. Despite the 2016 Permanent Court of Arbitration ruling against China's claims, the country has continued its sovereignty disputes with Vietnam and the Philippines. Does that sound familiar? You do an end around, you just, I don't care what the court says, I'm just going to do what I want.
Right.
What does that sound like to you?
That sounds like the Biden administration.
The Biden administration with student loans, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Indonesia and Malaysia, the United States, Japan, and the Philippines announced plans to conduct joint naval patrols opposing China in the South China Sea.
That's not going to go over very well.
Why does this even matter to me, right? Why do I care, right? If China moves against Philippines, we'll respond because USA has always been a close ally to the Philippines. Remember Douglas MacArthur and General Arthur MacArthur Jr., they're both generals. Arthur MacArthur Jr. was Douglas MacArthur's father, served extensively in the Philippines and were well beloved by the Filipinos. This means our national treasure, our sons and daughters, will once again be put in harm's way, Air Force or Navy or Marines.
Yeah.
Because it's over there, near the open water. India will back Philippines and may make a move to secure Aruchanal Pradesh. We don't know. They might if something sparks up over in the South China Sea. This may spark a global conflict that would also envelop Taiwan. Remember, because Taiwan is disputing parts of the South China Sea.
And very, very close to China. Just dangerously close.
Yeah, Taiwan Strait, yeah.
Right.
Would Russia move to back China? Probably.
Yeah. Well,
there's always been good Sino-Soviet relations because of the communism. Even though Russia now is no longer communist, they're not fully laissez-faire capitalism. They're not fully, because they got thugs and warlords. It's like an oligarch. Yeah. What do you think? Are we over-exaggerating? Do you think that if something's going on between Russia and Ukraine and then China flares up, that That could be a world war right there.
Who do you think is the major contributor of China's trade? That would be probably us, right? We probably buy more from China than other countries
Russia buys
do.
a lot.
Yeah, well, but they do. But I don't
Yeah.
think they have the buying power that we do. I mean, we have a lot of people that like to buy stuff, and it's hard to go into any store nowadays and
well,
not
it's
find
difficult.
anything that's made in China.
Made in China.
And so, if you were to shut down that trade between that country, that would devastate their economy, but it would also hurt ours as well, right? Where are we going to get stuff that we get from China overnight? It's
Well,
gonna
it wouldn't
take
be
a while,
it wouldn't
right?
be cheap. We could get stuff, but it wouldn't be as cheap. you know?
Exactly. Which
It could go to Canada, Britain,
Right.
Australia. Could pick up even South America.
yeah. So even a trade war, other than a military war, trade war could be devastating as well. So
We're
I
not
don't know.
saying it's going to happen tomorrow or
let's
next week.
hope it. We don't
But
want that. I don't
It's
want
flaring
that.
up. Stuff's flaring up.
Yeah.
It's concerning. Why now?
Yeah, and there's
know?
some very, very unstable players in this whole thing, which is kind of concerning, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just including our players here. You don't know what they're going to do. It's scary. Very scary.
Well, I think Biden's administration is pretty predictable. Appeasement, throw money at it. That's
Okay.
usually that's what they've done.
Yeah.
Appeasement, throw money.
Money, money, money. Whose money?
Well, that's our money. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Did they pay the 20 million or the 10 billion to Obrador? The
I
Mexican
haven't heard
president?
that. I haven't heard
that
that.
either.
I would hope not. That would not be good. I would think if he's going to do that, he's going to wait until after the election. If he loses, then he won't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But
Yeah,
that would that would be a dagger in the heart if he did that before the election.
So let's game this, okay? Let's game this. Do you think if a World War III flared up between now and November, would that distract from the elections and bode well for Biden? To come on, let's unity, let's get together, keep me in office because we got this world war. We can't play around. Do you think he'd use that as a distraction?
Well, he might try to use it, but not in the circles that I run in. I mean, that's people don't want war. We're done with that.
I know, but let's say it flares up, and we were World War One. We were isolationists. We didn't want to get involved. World War Two. We didn't want to get involved. We sent pilots to help with the RAF. World War Two, and then finally we just got sucked in World War One. So
Japan, right?
if it, World War One.
I mean, I'm sure World War II. Yeah.
And so what if it flares and we're holding back and Biden's trying to say, well, keep me in office because I'll keep us out of the war. Do you think he's going to use that? I mean, he won't let a good crisis go to waste. Democrats don't do that.
Yeah, I don't like that scenario. I don't even think about that.
That's why we're on the
good.
show,
I know.
Scott, to talk about it, cousin.
I know, but man, that's just not something I want to think about.
It's that would be crazy.
It would be.
A
lot of the stuff
plus
that we talk about
with
is
the
crazy.
Middle East is flaring up too. Over here in the Middle East.
We pretty much left Israel out in the lurch, right? We're backing off our support for Israel.
Yeah.
That's
So that
that's not a
Biden
good
can
one.
get some votes from the Muslims.
Whatever. That's a very key ally we have in the Middle East. Probably
Anything.
the best ally.
They'll
I
do
think we have.
anything they can to stay in power. Cut loose Israel? Yep. Cut loose Israel? Yep. Anything.
Don't underestimate the power of Israel's military.
Oh, I know they're powerful. I know they are. I know they're powerful.
With or without us.
But when everybody
pretty
piles
tough.
on in every direction, it's going to get tough for them. Like Armageddon. Every nation's going to come up against Israel.
Well, I would hope that some of our other allies will fill in the void, like the Brits, France, Germany. Sounds crazy, right? But those guys would fill in the void. But for us to do that, this could be a deciding factor for him. I think.
Biden?
Yeah, for him, kind of
Do
abandoning Israel.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know there's a lot of Jewish Democrats, but still,
Well, Schumer wanted to cut loose Netanyahu.
Yeah.
That's what they could. They could pivot and say, "We just want Netanyahu government to go away, and a new government."
And I think he's
You know,
right now.
That's what they do. The
I think
Democrats
he's
would
the best
say
thing for
to
Israel.
keep some face.
So, he's a tough guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us for World War III Part 2. If you have any comments, we do want to know if you think we're exaggerating or what you think. Send the comments. If you likey, subscribey, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your enemies. Until then.
Have a good day. Thank you.